Go on.
Hi, this is Bernie Perron.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne, and you're watching Father Daughters Talk Flyers.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 90. Hang on, my kid.
I almost went down there.
Don't fall down.
I almost went down there.
Cheyenne down. It's like a heart no down. So this one's obviously is recapping the NHL draft.
We got some scoring in.
Yes. Clearly we got some scoring. So,
And?
Yeah.
Carter isn't gone.
And Carter Hart is still here, yes.
So, I'll take it.
Very nice. So the NHL draft. So last week we did our draft special, and I said if Michkov was still there at 7, you gotta take him. He was still there at 7, and Danny Briere took him.
Yeah.
So it's a bold move. He's got 3 years on his KHL contract, but then again, who knows, buy guys out, or who knows the KHL. So he might be here sooner, but probably now figure he's not going to be here for 3 years. But he's some scoring. Now, I'm glad the fan base is excited. I was at a draft party last night. Thank you to Broad Street Hockey. Thank you for Broad Street Hockey. They had an event at Live Casino, which unfortunately you had to be 21 to go, so I couldn't bring you or Michelle.
It's okay, I went to a friend's house. It was fun.
You did have fun, which is great.
Yeah, and then Dad filled me in after I got home.
Yeah. So we usually like to do things together, but this one was an over 21. So, and I had a great time.
You could have brought Tabitha now.
I could have brought your big sister now. That's true. She is 21 now.
She could have came.
And then we got some pictures. Bob Kelly was there. Todd Fedoruk was there. Riley Cote was there, and both Watson brothers, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I want to thank Todd specifically, who, longtime friend of the show. Todd's been great. Todd signed my Fedoruk jersey.
Oh my god, I'm going to put the picture in, but his face.
He was very excited to see a Fedoruk jersey. So yes, there's one picture of him lighting up. And then, and then another picture of us getting it signed. So
his eyes were so wide, he was like...
Todd's great. He's got a great personality. I love Todd. So yes, he was very excited, and it's a great picture. Also want to thank, so the fan club was there as well. If you're not a member yet, please get in contact with us. We've got a lot of cool things. We were talking to the Watson brothers. Joe Watson has a book he wrote with Bill Meltzer coming out in October-ish. So we're talking about having him there, telling some stories from it. He said 1 or 2 stories had to get cut out of the book, but he said it's still great. He's really proud of it, so we're excited for that. Please, if you haven't joined the fan club yet, get in touch with me. There's an event in July in Voorhees.
You should also join because I'll be there, and I'm amazing.
Also true.
I'm amazing. I'm a member, so you should join for me. Mm-hmm.
Also true.
That's what I have to say.
But we have a lot going on. So the fan club was at, a lot of the fan club members were at the event. It was a really nice job. Great job, Broad Street Hockey.
And I
nice
know
job,
guests
Live
that might
Casino.
be coming.
Yeah, don't tell. Top secret.
I know secrets.
So now back to the draft. It's great. I love it. Everybody was excited. So apparently this was clearly the pick. Flyers fans wanted, and I understand it. It's very exciting. And it's funny because we were all holding breath because we thought Montreal might take him.
Yeah, and Dad also Dad told me that everyone screamed.
Yeah, it was very loud. It was like Eagles Super Bowl touchdown loud. Like everybody was very excited. So, but yeah, when Montreal took the defenseman, you knew it was possible because Arizona wasn't taking him. Although Arizona scared the jeebies out of us because they took a Russian, and for like a half a second I was like, oh god, Arizona took him, but then they didn't. So now I need everybody to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm glad the fan base is excited. And you know me, I'm normally excited. He's not Ovechkin. Calm down. He doesn't have that size. He's not that physical. He's not the hitting ability. However, he could score.
Yeah.
I think Kroger Kaprizov, who's in Minnesota, or before you were born, there was a player called Pavel Bure. Mm-hmm. He's not quite as fast, but he's definitely got finishing ability like that. I think that's more, which, again, fine, because you're talking about regular All-Stars, possible borderline Hall of Fame. He's got that kind of ability.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to talk him into Coots or Noah Cates. He's not going to want a Selke. He definitely has areas of his game he has to work on. He needs to be better defensively to play in the NHL. Not talking about changing his game entirely, but that is an area where he does need work. However, he's still young and he's going to play time in the KHL, and I'm sure he'll work on everything. And probably by the time he gets here, I don't really expect him to play time in the AHL. He should be ready to step right into the NHL and need to work on some things. But I'm glad the fan base is excited. It's really nice to see. Mm-hmm. Everybody's been miserable for 2 years. And this is a big reason to be excited. The guy can score. And I mean, so you've always heard me talk about Reggie Leach, who had an amazing shot. Mm-hmm. And Tim Kerr, yes, 50 goal scorers. And Tim Kerr, who could plant himself in front of that net and nobody could move him, and banged home 50 multiple times.
Yeah.
This kid could be the best pure Flyers goal scorer in history. That's the kind of talent he has.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's still like any draft pick, talent that needs to develop, and everything needs to go right. But it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. The Flyers also had another first-round pick, and they took one of my favorite hockey names of all time, Radek Blank's son, and that's pretty cool. He plays for the London Knights.
Mm-hmm.
He is a right-hand shot defenseman. He needs some work, but the scouts are very confident that he's going to develop. The raw tools are there, and he just needs to keep playing. And it's not like either of these guys we expected to be on the roster. It's not like Provorov and Konecny. We didn't expect either of these guys to be on the roster in September.
Mm-mm.
So, it's a good pick. Defensemen started going. This was a very forward, winger, center, forward draft. There were only so much defensemen. They needed to get one, really, with that second first-round pick, although I believe the best player available. So, I'm very glad they took Bonk. I know it's a bit of a project, but so be it.
Were they really trying to get the most complicated last names
They
ever?
did. They did pick some Russians and even some complicated Canadian names. Yes, they did. So after Bonk, which time will tell, but seems like a solid pick. They also picked later in the draft. They also picked one of his teammates, who's another center. Which I'm fine with having more centers in the draft as well.
Yeah.
Now, so when you make a draft ranking, you don't really look position. You just rank them in order of best players, who you think is going to have the best NHL career.
Mm-hmm.
Then, obviously, if there's tiebreakers and stuff, you start looking amongst player position. Obviously, the Flyers could use a little bit of everything. Yes, they have Carter Hart. Yes, they have Sam Harrison. Felix Sandstrom might, have a better
so
year.
They're not too bad on goalies.
They're not. However, they took goalies because apparently they had the kid from Brandon, the Wheat Kings, which, last time we drafted the Wheat King goalie was Hextall, I believe, and that turned out well. Yeah. So they took two goalies. Now, I was surprised they took two. They traded back into the second round to get the kid from the Wheat Kings. Apparently that was, you can always, sometimes they fib, but basically that was the number one goalie on their board, and when a couple of goalies started to fall, they really wanted to grab him. I'm totally fine with that. The kid's, 17, 18 years old?
Yeah.
He's not taking Carter Hart's job.
No.
Odds are by the time he's a goaltender in the NHL, Carter's going to be 30. So, but they stock the cupboards with goalies, and that is never a bad thing because they're the hardest guys to predict how they're going to turn out. So they took him, and they took a Russian goalie. I was surprised they took two. I was expecting just one. But hey, if you think that's where the value is and that's the player is, you take him. The LA Kings had Jonathan Quick for years, and they traded Martin Jones, and they traded Jonathan Bernier. They kept trading his backups that proved well and kept bringing back in assets. So I, as a former goaltender, would absolutely love this to be a goalie factory. I have zero problem with that. Having too many goalies is a good problem to have. Makes the Phantoms really good. Yep. Helps the guys win. Trickles all the way down to Reading. So, and then some of these guys can play in the KHL. And, we have two Russian goalies over in the KHL. So, like I said, I would have preferred one. However, if that's your guys, you take two. So then they took the center, Denver, who's the other London Knight. Oh, and then he took... So, do you remember interviewing Mike Knuble at...
I remember the name, yeah.
Yeah, you interviewed Mike Knuble at...
yeah.
Fantasy Camp.
Yeah.
Sorry, I drew a blank there. Yes, so Mike Knuble's son, Cole Knuble, was drafted by the Flyers, which I'm very excited by. So Cole last year didn't get drafted. He was draft eligible. Apparently, the kid just worked his tail off. His skating was subpar. He brought that up to above and beyond. He's always had the motor, and being Mike's son, you kind of expect that. But kid worked on his game. Spent a whole year working on it. I think he was Player of the Year or something like that. So congratulations to Cole Knuble, Mike's son. Exciting. Now, later in the draft, you don't know. The more rounds you go, the more of a wild card it is. However, Noah Cates was a 5th-round pick. He's going to be a Flyers regular. There was a kid taken last year, Ethan Sampson, on defense, who I think is, very possibly be a Flyers regular one day. So you can pull if Oscar Lindblom had never had cancer. I think Oscar would still be banging in 18 to 20 goals a year, and one of those guys that you want on your line to get your line going.
Poor Oscar.
I know, it's a shame. Hopefully, he's still got another year with his contract. Hopefully, he can build up strength and come back. But it's a shame. But obviously, we're happy he's healthy and having a good life. But it's a shame because I really thought
He was good.
Yeah, I thought Oscar was going to have a long, steady career here. Not Hall of Fame, but definitely steady NHL career. And just kind of one of those guys that, when your line's not going, you throw Oscar on it and you got better. But so late picks can certainly pay off. Mm-hmm. And then so they closed out with taking some defense. I know at the very end they took this giant 6'6", if it doesn't work out, you can always go over to the Sixers because they could use him. But
yeah.
They took a big kid at the end, some size on defense. And you just don't know. Sometimes those kids pay off. So, all in all, I think it was a good draft. Mm-hmm. Especially for Danny's first. I mean, Brett Flair knows what he's doing, or Brent Flair. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, and I'm glad the fan base is excited. They really should be. It's still going to take a little time. Gauthier's going back to college. But they have 2 first-round picks next year. So, that's just more talent coming. And also, I want to say, the new jerseys. So I have a friend who went to the Nashville draft, and he got a picture with last year's jersey versus, and obviously the draft picks got all next year's jersey. I love the burnt orange being back. Oh my God, am I so happy. I might have to get some new jerseys.
I mean, do you ever need an excuse to get a new jersey?
Yeah, well, it's a new color. I have to have it. So.
Yeah,
and also I forgot, I got this cool hat at the draft party. I want a hat.
Yeah.
So, I realized I had a lot of black hats, a lot of white hats. I didn't actually have a lot of orange hats, so good timing on that. So, I'm sure there's other people doing better breakdowns of picks and all. That's, we're not going to bore you with every little thing. But I do think it was a very good day for the Philadelphia Flyers, or 2 days for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
Development camp's coming up.
Woo!
We're going development camp.
I mean, this man, every time I see him, there's something mentioned about camp.
Very excited.
He's so excited.
They finally made it official. They released the dates, so our next episode will be with
Sadly,
some development camp.
I'm in Florida most of the dates.
Yes, but you're gonna make the first ones, and then me and Michelle will go. So, yes. So development camp starts Sunday. We'll be there. Yeah. So if you're there, say hi. Can't wait to see some of these. Unfortunately, the new Russian and Cutter Gauthier and some of our college picks won't be there, but I'm excited to see Bonk, and there's definitely guys to watch. So. So we'll see you camping. That'll be next week's episode, and that's kind of it. You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get ice cream.
Yes, you get ice cream every
Best
camp.
part of everything, ice cream.
So, thank you for watching our special on the draft recap. We'll have some footage from camp and everything next week. Mm-hmm. Episode, so that'd be 91. Wow. All right, kiddo.
Oh, wait, I didn't say my... Bye! There you go. Sorry. Can't end the episode without that.
It is what it is. We know he's got a contract for 3 more seasons, but for us, we just felt, after watching him play and after meeting him, we just felt it's a talent that we cannot pass up, and if we have to wait, we'll wait, and it is what it is.
What did you say in that meeting that convinced you that he was your guy?
He seemed to have a really good time. We met him a couple times, and you could tell that for some reason he loved the Flyers. He wanted to be part of the Flyers. We saw it on stage. His reaction was amazing. He convinced us basically in the meeting that we wanted to be there. We wanted to be a Flyer. So our staff all felt really, really good about selecting him.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Aaron.
The Russian thinking about the Flyers in the first round.